Good morning, Mrs. Ludwig. Thank you so much for taking the time to come in and talk to us. I wanted to talk to you about the results of Shelly's scores. She took a test a few months ago, and she took the Iowa test of basic skills. Before we go into any of this, it might seem like a lot of work, but rest assured that this achievement test that she took, it was given to over 1,500 children across the nation, and that's how we gauge where she should be on this test. If you notice up here, we have what we call our norm reference group. Now the norm reference group, again, is children across the nation who took this very same test, and we have our standard scores, which is all these scores put into a formula, and that way we can compare this very same test to other tests, see if the rankings are the same or where they need to be. And then we have our grade equivalent, which tells us that Shelly's doing very, very well. She's reading at 5th grade, 5th month level. And then we have our stay nines, and then our national percentile ranking, and that tells us where Shelly's at on the bell curve. And I'll give you a second to look at this.
Okay. You said stay nine score, national stay nine score. I was wondering, what does that mean exactly?
Now the stay nines, it's really an easier way of looking at her scores rather than taking a percentile and comparing it.
Yeah.
If we have a stay nine score down here, if you'll notice, from 1 to 9, it also tells us where Shelly falls, where she ranks. It's just an easier way of looking at this.
All right.
Now it's a good little score, and teachers basically love this, but it's not as reliable as the test scores that we have for Shelly now.
Okay.
Now if you look at the tests and skills, she's got vocabulary, reading comprehension, spelling, capitalization, and it goes down the line. Under vocabulary, there were 34 items. She attempted all 34 items. She got 76% correct, and the national average on that was 58%. So Shelly did very well in that. She scored quite a bit higher than the national average. And if you look at it here on this bell curve that we have here, Shelly scored 76%, which puts her here. The national average was 58%, which puts her here. Not only is she falling within what we would like to see, she's exceeding that expectation.
Okay, good, because I thought 78 was low compared to 100.
No, national average is 58%.
Okay.
Shelly's at 76%. That she is way up there. She's doing exceedingly well in her reading. Now, there are some areas here that you might want to look at.
The estimation looks kind of low right here in the math portion. Is she failing at that?
Well, actually, she's doing really well, because if you look at the total number of items, there were 8. She attempted 6. She got 38% correct.
Yes.
The national average was 56%. However, if you go back to our bell curve, you'll see 56% is up here, and Shelly's at 36%, which puts her right in here. She's still within that range between where she needs to be.
Okay.
So she's not flunking at all. She's doing very well. We might have to work on that a little bit. And it's real important that you remember that this test is just a piece. It's just a piece of everything that we take into consideration.
Okay.
Okay, we still have all of her work over here. And I put this together because since this test was taken, Shelley's been doing really well, especially in estimations.
Okay, good.
And here's some work that we've done. If you want to take a few minutes to look at it, I've marked all of these things so you can see she's doing really well.
Thank you. Is there anything that I can work with? I mean, like with Shelley at home, or is there anything I can do to help
Actually,
her?
I'm so glad you asked because I've created these little cards here
Oh, good.
on estimation, and they're like flashcards. She can just look at them. She can kind of do it herself, or if you're in the car traveling in the highway or just going from here to there, you want to play with them a little bit, that'll help reinforce that
Good.
topic.
Thank you. That's a very good idea.
If there's anything else you might have concerns about, I think we kind of went over everything.
Yes.
We talked about the standard scores, the grade equivalent, where she's at compared nationally, where she's at, and again we looked at the subgroups of all of these little things here. So if there's anything else I can help you with.
No, everything looks so well. I'm glad Shelley's doing well.
She sure is, Miss Ludwig. You've got a wonderful child, and I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come in and talk to me.
Thank you.